I do enjoy setting up the camera for the videos I record, because you flick around with tags and catches, and you tighten things up. It all feels very professional and purposeful. And it was probably, a couple of years ago now, I was watching a particular podcast, and the guest made this really fantastic suggestion. And it was, whenever you go to sleep at night, turn all of your computers off, turn the internet off, turn off your Wi-Fi, because obviously it's such a powerful frequency that, of course, it is interfering. And one of the things that it interferes with is your dreams, remembering dreams when you're sleeping, because you're always dreaming, but actually recalling them, that gets interfered with. And literally, because I'm growing up, and I can still remember certain dreams that I had when I was very, very young. So we're talking 30, 35 years ago. I can remember them really vividly, and sort of hear them and see them and almost feel them in my body. Really vivid. And for ages, years and years and years, because I was leaving the internet on at night, I wasn't remembering dreams at all. And then literally overnight fix, I started turning off the internet at night, and I do so every night now, and bosh, like that, dreams came back. And last night, I actually had a really, really interesting dream. There's a famous aristocrat in this country, and she's one of the famous Mitford sisters who, caught controversy, as people say, because there's a famous, one of them, the youngest one, or the second to youngest, is she's called Unity Mitford, and she's the Nazi one. Never talk about the fucking communist one. Jessica Mitford. You never hear about, oh no, she was a radical feminist communist. Never hear about her. It's funny that, isn't it? Really funny. But the youngest of them, Deborah Mitford, she married the Duke of Devonshire, and the Duke of Devonshire's country house is literally over in that direction. And I go to it a lot, Chatsworth Park. And she was in this dream. And it was really funny because you know how in dreams, it is a place, but it doesn't necessarily look like the place in the dream as it does in real life. But we were in Chatsworth House, and there were lots and lots of big rooms, and then off them there were corridors leading to the private rooms. So there was a corridor leading to the private dining room, and then to the private ballroom. And my sister and I don't often have dreams with my family in them, and probably least of all my sister. So it was very significant. It stuck with me, and we had both been invited to an awards ceremony at this place. But Deborah Mitford, because in real life she was really charming, very, very elegant, refined, friendly, a real old-fashioned English woman, and great sense of humour, etc. But she was sort of barking at us. She was really, really annoyed at us. She said, no, you can't come into these rooms. And my sister and I were walking around with two books in our hands. It was almost like we were going to, I'm not quite sure what that bit of the dream was, but it was almost like we were going to give some kind of reading as we were being awarded our trophies. And this woman, Deborah Mitford, barked at my sister. Said, "You don't know what you're doing, do you?" Not at me, but at my sister, which made me feel very, very protective, I remember, in the dream. And then later in the dream, I think we'd either gone through the ceremony or it skipped, or we hadn't bothered going, whatever. And this woman came up to us and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was rather rude to you, wasn't I?" And on behalf of my sister, said, yes, you were rude. And she just kind of tottered off, you know. And she said, "Oh, you handled that really, really well, Martin. You're a mayor for one, a mayor for all." It's very similar to sort of saying, "Oh, you're a master of one, master of all." And there was a little bit that, sort of at the end of the dream that doesn't really matter, because we went off to go somewhere else to be with nicer people, and I woke up, or the dream ended, and I just remember waking up and thinking, it's a really nice feeling to have taken the word mayor away from the dream, because a mayor, generally speaking, not the current London mayor, definitely not, and not a lot of mayors in up and down in English cities and towns, but a mayor is an official position. It's very public, and it's normally granted. It's normally won, because there's a theme of winning in this dream. But a mayoral position is normally won by massive public support. You know, it's kind of the people, by the people. And it felt like a really uplifting dream, because I thought, well, what if we were more open, more willing, more public about the things that we're doing, that we like, you know, that we're sharing useful information for people. And I've been thinking for the last few days of my place. I had a little bit of a mini viral moment where I posted a tweet on Twitter. And because I'd commented on a large account's post, a lot of people saw this post. It became very, very visible. And it's not really, it's one of those kind of, I'm not calling it a fluke exactly, but it's one of those kind of right place, right time, everything kind of aligns and works. But a lot of people were commenting on this post that I'd made, and retweeting it. So it was an exciting thing. And I think actually on my account, I think it's got over 100 likes now, and probably, I think, almost sort of 20 comments and similar amount of retweets. So it's not like millions and millions of likes or anything, but I think it's about 10,000 impressions now. Last time I looked, it was about 8,500, so it'll be a bit more now. And it was very, very exciting. But it just made me think of my place, you know, what am I offering? What am I contributing? And it just really made me think today, as all sort of, not that the dust had settled, but that I'd sort of absorbed the experience of this mini viral tweet, that it's really worth going whole hog into things. And years ago now, I was watching The Random Show on Tim Ferriss's YouTube channel that he does with Kevin Rose every now and then. They still do them, in fact. I haven't watched them for a while. But there was this one phrase that Kevin Rose said on one of these random shows, saying that for me, if I'm going to take something on, it's either got to be hell yeah or no. And this is what I mean by going whole hog. Joan Collins once famously quipped that just drink normal Coke if you'd prefer the taste of normal Coke, because I've never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. You know, it's not the... although I don't know if Joan Collins has ever done cocaine. Maybe she has. Who knows? Or he has, you know, people calling Joan Collins a bloke. You know, are they male, are they female? Are they lizards? We live in bizarre times, my friends. We live in bizarre times. But I actually prefer the taste of Diet Coke, as it happens, I do. But if I wanted a full fat Coke, then by all means I could have one every now and then. But commit. commit to your path. I looked at a couple of days ago the possibility of joining sort of an online masterclass kind of thing, a men's masculinity group, sort of initiation kind of education, and you know, all these things. And I went on the first live call yesterday and just didn't gel. And this is what I mean. Trust yourself. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, there are certain things, certain tasks that you have to do that are quite challenging, but you know that they're worthwhile, so you persevere with those. But if there's something that you're going to be devoting a huge amount of time to, and your heart isn't in it, don't do it. Don't do it. Learn to trust yourself, and also learn to understand wholeheartedly that you do have all of the skills that you need right now to make progress. And then when the next lessons become necessary, that you know that you'll have the willingness and the resourcefulness to actually find the answers to those questions. But you haven't crossed that bridge yet. You haven't even come to that bridge yet. Walk the path that you're walking. Keep your eyes forward and keep moving, but don't race, don't rush. I was coming back from the gym today, and literally midway on the bus journey, the bus driver got a notification that there had been a car crash somewhere fairly near here that affected the route that we were going. It actually so happened that it didn't affect me, but he kept on sort of updating us. But the likelihood is that somebody's swerving on some ice because they're going too quickly. And in their haste, in their panic, in their hurry to get somewhere, well, they might have totaled their car. They might have sustained serious injuries, or something even worse. We don't know the circumstances. But was whatever happened, maybe it was an accident, I don't know. But if that person was rushing, was it worth it? No, it wasn't. But even if they come off scot-free, it's going to be a dent, it's going to be a knock, you know, to their life, to their peacefulness, to their progress. So be committed and be conscious in every step that feelings, thoughts, they're all going to come up. You're going to have, one of my coaches said to me very wisely, there's a devil at every level, but you can deal with it. Thank you for sharing. What information do I need? What support is necessary here? It's one step at a time. One step at a time, my friends. And learn to enjoy the process as much as possible. Take the rests that you need, but keep the goals in your mind's eye and in here. It's not just an intellectual process, it is an emotional one as well. And that means that in times where things feel quite difficult, that it might feel overwhelming, bring yourself back down to earth as much as you can. Eat well, move well, sleep well, exercise well, enjoy the process, because you're going to be in it for a long time, your whole life. It's an unfurling, it's a gift and an opportunity to make your life fantastic. But the reason that most people don't do it is because it is a head fuck. It's an emotional roller coaster. But guess what, my friend? You, watching this, are one of the ones that can deal with it and win the process.